So they say this was a fucking canal, but I fucking doubt it. Like, look at the width of this. Do you really think that it was made for ships? Or do you think that it was designed for hydroelectricity? I mean, obviously, that's what the message that I'm trying to send across. Hydroelectricity all across the realm. Everywhere that you look, every single city, doesn't matter where you look in this fucking world, is set up for hydroelectricity. It's all about the fucking water, you know. And I've been to enough cities, I've seen enough towns to know that every city, either the canals have been built around the city or the city was built around the canals. One way or another, they've been using electricity for a really long time. So I think that's something to think about. And this is in Ontario, where I'm at right now. This is my daily commute, but it's funny because my page is all about old world technology, buildings, architecture, and I have this spot that I cross every single day. And we're told that it's a canal for ships, but literally it goes behind like a bunch of old businesses, like an old mill, an old rubber factory, a bunch of these places. And how do you think they were powering this place? They were powering it with the hydroelectricity, like most of the old world. I know that a lot of people speak about the ether and etheric electricity, but I really think that a lot of these civilizations, even up to recently, were utilizing hydroelectric power because it's the one thing that's constantly flowing. You have something like this. I was in Ottawa in the wintertime. I filmed the Parliament and a bunch of cathedrals and a bunch of different places because under what I believe America is older than we're told. Same with Canada, and it ties in with the whole Tartaria mud flood architecture. Yeah, exactly. To me, history is a complete lie, and everything we're told. You know, if you look at the idea of the Baghdad battery, the idea that they had these clay and electrical devices. But you got to think that all these brick buildings, it's all about the brick as well. You have all these brick buildings, and the Baghdad battery is also made of clay, brick made of clay. So obviously, all these buildings are some form of battery. And if we're thinking about alternative electricity and things of that nature, you got to think that these buildings were storing energy, and you have magnetic and paramagnetic materials together, and it's really quite interesting. But it's interesting to see that you're in Ottawa. Hey, what's up, buddy? I'm just on my daily little commute here, Case Blue. And it's funny because you know all the shit that I talk about, and literally I walk across this little canal every single day that I go to work. And you can see the width of it. It's not very wide. I can't imagine any ships were fucking coming through here. And it just adds to my theory that, you know, everything is related to hydroelectricity. I would sooner believe that the whole world ran off hydroelectricity than I would the ether. But I believe that the ether, there's something to that, and I realize that there's something to that, but first and foremost, hydroelectricity, 100%, 100 P. Bro, working downtown in the high rises adds to your theory. Yeah, I'm not sure what downtown you're in, but it's funny because I've done a lot of See, that's the thing people don't understand. I have years of construction, roofing, high-rise apartment builds, doing facades, cladding, all of these different things. I did site development. From the ground up, I've seen all these different things. I've seen all this shit built. And that's what people don't understand, is that the shit takes time. And when you look at the history, it does not fucking add up whatsoever. And that's what people don't realize. We've had electricity for a really long ass time, and the whole narrative is all fucked up. Downtown Ottawa. Yeah, man, you know what? I lived in Ottawa years ago, but I never knew what I was looking at. But the last 4 or 5 years, I've been into the subject, and then the last year or so, I've I started making content. I started traveling. I started visiting all these places in person to really get a better idea as to the architecture and what's around it. And you know what? I have a drone, every single city that I pop up my drone, you have these like what I'm standing over right now. We have these waterways that are built, and we're told all these different narratives, but it's all for hydroelectricity. I don't care what anybody says at this point. I've seen enough examples. I've been in enough different cities. I've looked in places all around the world, and literally all these cities are geared for hydroelectricity. We can think about all the woo woo shit and the the ether and copper and all these buildings. I do believe that is something, but the one thing that I do have physical evidence for, and I've seen again and again, hydroelectricity, waterways through cities, all these different places. So I think that's really important, and it's something to think about. Okay, I'm gonna read the comments here. We build in shit compared to what was here. Yeah, they say, oh, we don't have the money, we don't have the time, but I don't know. There's something about, especially about the history about America that doesn't make sense. So when I look at like the medieval times, they say, okay, this castle, it took 1,000 years to build, or 500 years, or something ridiculous. Yes, that fucking makes sense. But when I see the same architecture throughout Canada, and they're telling me that it took like 3 years to build this cathedral of a population of fucking 2,000, like I don't believe that. Like, oh, every man, woman, and child is walking around with a fucking tool belt, and they're all expert stone builders. No, no, they don't know what the like. There's something about the history that doesn't make sense. So either these buildings were already here, or people were around longer than they say, or America is longer than they tell us. I don't have an exact picture, because I can't sit here and say I know this, I know this, I know that, whatever. I look at what the history books tells me, and as an adult, I'm not a child looking at this information. I'm an adult. I have construction experience. I've traveled. I looked at all these different places, and none of it makes sense to me. I don't know about you guys. Yeah, with the World's Fairs, and that's what I realized. The World's Fairs is literally the one clue that they give you. You know how they talk about how it was plaster and wood frames? No. What they're telling you is that these buildings were already there, and the brick. I don't care what anybody else says. The brick is one of the most important puzzle pieces, key factors to this whole entire thing. It's the fucking brick. The brick. So they plastered over, they like cemented, they concrete, they added a new facade over all these old buildings and called them new. And that's part of the main thing that I talk about. It's the one thing that I'm 100% sure on, because I've seen it all around the realm. Every single place that I look at, they've refacaded with like a curtain wall of stone or something else to make it look like something that's new, and clearly it's not. We're not the inheritors, though. We didn't get fuck all. The people that knew what was going on, the people that are in power, the people that are ahead of everybody else, the parasites of this world, they're the ones that knew what was going on. They're the ones that are benefiting from all this. We didn't inherit shit. We were just told, oh, hey, this is how it is. This is life. This is what you got to do. You got to get married. You got to make more slaves. You just got to work. And we'll give you just enough to eat, just enough to pay your bills, but you can never get ahead in life. You can never do anything you truly want to do. So it's all a part of a larger plan. Yes, exactly. His story. And I was watching this video one day, and it was talking about this Freemason building. And I was like, holy fuck. It finally fucking clicked. Freemasonry. The buildings are literally free. They found everything that is around in this realm. The free masonry, free buildings, free brick, free stone, all this shit. They found it as it was, and they refacaded it and made it seem as if it was something new. And that's 100% how I feel about this whole situation. Obviously we've been lied to about our history. We've been lied to about technology. Every time we see something brand new and brought forward to us, guaranteed it's already been around. Obviously, all of you guys have heard the expression, nothing new under the sun. There's literally nothing new to us. Everything that is being presented to us every day as something new has already been around for a very, very, very long time. And that's something interesting to consider. Yeah, free. Yeah, everything was free to them. It's not free for us, but it was definitely free to them. So. But as you guys watch my content, you'll see the same subject come up and again. And as each week goes on, more and more evidence produces itself to show that a lot of these places were refacaded and it's all about the brick, baby. It's all about that brick. It comes from the earth. It's so important. And they obviously were using rebar, which is magnetic. So you have magnetic and paramagnetic structures. It's really quite interesting. Okay, I'm gonna stop ranting for a second. I'm gonna read the comments. I don't know how much you guys can hear me. I'm trying to talk over the waterfalls, but the World's Fairs. I did a freestyle. I don't really talk about it too much because I feel like that's super mainstream, and a lot of people think that the World's Fairs is the be all end all. Like when I suggest when anybody suggests World's Fairs, they're always like, oh, the World's Fairs. Oh, they it was some buildings that they destroyed, and people think that's what it's all about. But really, that's just the beginning of it. To me, the World's Fairs, the way I perceive it, is that the World's Fairs were the museums of what we have today. So whatever they were showing off at the World's Fairs were really just super old technology in a museum. Like if you look at the way they're organized, every single World's Fair, you have machine technology, agriculture. It's all split up into all these different groups. And I believe that it was already stuff that was super old a long time, and they're presenting it to this new reset generation as, because you got to think, the reset generation, you have teenagers, you have young people going to war, learning about all these things, and then you have the adults that were around, that were in control of the whole situation. And they're basically presenting all this stuff and saying, hey, this is the future, this is, the lighting, all this stuff, but really, this technology has been around. And honestly, this is something I still question. Either we're like super young and it's only been a few hundred years and history is a complete lie, or we've only been around for like 1,000 years and they've added something to our history or something along that nature. I'm not entirely sure. And obviously, with my journey and exploring all this shit, traveling, going to new places, I'm going to learn more and more. I don't expect to understand this all right away. I expect that through my experiences that I'm going to get a bigger picture as to what's honestly happening in this realm around me. And honestly, I was built for this shit. I've traveled before. I've ditched everything in my life. And I've done this again. I literally gave up everything that I had in my life to pursue this. I gave up my job. I gave up my friends, the things around me, the place that I live, all my personal possessions to pursue this. And this is what I am honestly 100% about, is finding out the truth about the world around us and, freeing ourselves, because we don't need to pay for power. We shouldn't be paying for any of this. We were born on this planet. Everything has been given to us. Food, shelter, all these different things the world provides, the earth provides. There's no reason for any of this, to be honest. So, maybe I'm just ranting here, but, I'm sure there's a lot of people out here that feel this way and feel that there's things that are wrong with the world and the things around us. But, every time I go out into the world and I explore all these places, I learn something new. I mean, if I hadn't have stopped what I was doing and decided to explore, I would have never known about the false facades, the fact that everything is brick, the importance, everything is tied in. Everything happens for a reason. There's a reason I'm doing this. There's a reason I'm exploring this. And there's a reason I'm making this content and sharing with you. And all this stuff, it's like a culmination of all the things that I've done in my life, all coming together to this like form of media, which is so weird to me, but it's definitely a new experience. But I wanted to share my experiences in the past. It's not the first time I've hitchhiked around. It's not the first time I've slept outside. It's not the first time I've traveled around this realm, but definitely this is a different experience for this time around, for sure. Knowing what I know now and being able to see the things that I see as I go, and it's like looking at this world with a brand new set of eyes. Like, obviously I've been into conspiracy theories and I've been studying this stuff. I've been looking at all these things for a really long time, but this whole mud flood Tartaria shit, it's a whole new thing to me, and I'm just trying to explore that. And I'm in Canada, and I know that everywhere plays a role, but I can only explore right now the places that are directly around me. So that's what I'm trying to do. So I don't know if you guys have anything to say in the comments or whatever. I'll stop talking for a minute. But just the last thing I want to say is, like I said, like, if you watch from the beginning, you'll see you'll see all the information that I've been providing over time, and I'm sharing with you guys everything that I learn as I learn it. It's like this whole experience, like something fucking happened in the fall. I don't know, just my entire life just fucking flipped upside down, and suddenly I found myself on the road again. A bunch of situations brought me to this point. I'm actually back to. I was living out east for a long time, and I'm back to the place where I initially grew up. And I never realized how much history was here. And I've been doing a little bit of work here, trying to save up for my next adventure, and that's definitely going to be happening soon. But the amount of history in this city is just fucking amazing, and the amount of stuff that I've learned, guys. And I so there's nine of you guys here in the room, and I appreciate you guys listening. And if you guys have any input, just let me know. I appreciate the conversation and whatnot. But so I was thinking about today, like I'm super geared up for this. I'm ready to like travel as much as I can, and I did this before and I stopped. But now going back into it, I don't regret the decision I make, but I realize that I am meant for this. I as far as attachments go, and family, jobs, all these different things. I'm meant to travel. I'm meant to explore this world. I'm meant to experience adventure, and I'm not afraid to do so. And at this point, I literally have no attachment whatsoever to anything. So I'm open to all the experiences that are coming my way, and I am going to share this with you guys. And I love it because I know a lot of people shit on TikTok, but literally, I can connect with people all around the world. I can share my experiences. I can film it. I can all the different things that I've had practice doing: making film, making music, traveling, talking about conspiracies. All these different things that I've experienced in my life are all coming together in this huge convergence that is TikTok, and it's the weirdest fucking thing to me. But it seems that people appreciate it. So. And regardless of whether people appreciate it or not, I'd be doing it. You know what I mean, for my own shit. But I did this years ago. I traveled all around Canada. I recorded it. I had like video of me hitchhiking and hopping freight trains and all this cool shit. And then I lost all of it. So like, I have like a second chance here to document it and upload it as I go. And this is kind of like a diary to me, but also. I'm learning. We're learning. We're all experiencing this together. Like, I'm adventurous, and you guys get to join me for that trip. Yeah, take care, man. You guys get to join me for this trip, and I think that's super important because I've experienced and I will experience things that people will never experience in their life, and I do truly want to share that. And because I am alone, I'm doing this alone. What's that movie with the kid that went he died in the wild, into the wild. He's like, happiness is only real when shared, and traveling and experiencing new things are the happiest times of my life. And if I can share that with people, then fuck yeah, like if I can, everything. Yeah, it's these are things that are important to me and matter to me. And if people are interested, that's fucking awesome. So that's pretty much where I'm at these days. And I appreciate you guys. It's nice to know that other people are interested in my journeys and the things that I'm learning. And it's good to know that there's a little bit of support out there. And I appreciate it for sure. For sure. Because, this is a lonely adventure. And I'm doing this all by myself. So it's nice to have a little bit of company, even though it may be virtual, but I do appreciate all of you, so I hope you all know that. No, man, exactly. As soon as you're aware of the subject, you realize how important and like how much of it is actually around you. And once again, that's another point I'm trying to prove is a lot of these buildings, and it's not just stone, it's siding, it's different types of commercial facades that have been used on these buildings to make them look like there's something new when they're really quite old. Now, exactly how far our timeline is along, I don't really know. If any of you ever seen the movie The Island, they all had implanted false memories. They all thought that they had this certain childhood. So, I mean, at the end of the day, like, sometimes I feel like, how do we even know that Our past is even our past. Like, how do I know yesterday even existed at this point? It could all be just this fake memory that's all implanted, and I'm in this like fucking simulated world. And this is the type of crazy shit that I think about on a daily basis. So, I mean, it makes it for a really weird, but it's also a fairly interesting existence. I'm definitely not bored for the most part. So, and people might call me delusional or crazy, but at least I'm enjoying life, and I'm not slaving away for some fucking endless existence. And it's not, like life isn't just about having a home and having a family and doing this. It's about having fun. It's about experiencing things. It's about chasing your dreams. It's about doing the things that make you happy. You know what I mean? Not just doing what we're told to do. Not just doing what we're told to do. And I think that's a big part because we realize we've been lied to. So if we've been lied to, then what is it that were our true purposes that we're supposed to be doing here? Is it supposed to be learning, exploring? I'm interested in all those things. Like the 9 to 5 bullshit, fuck that. Like, why do I want to make someone else rich? I'd rather just do my own thing and be happy with very little. If I ate today, fucking great. If I learned something new, even better. The materialism of this life and chasing all that. I mean, at the end of the day, what the fuck does it matter? Chasing after sex, chasing after stuff. None of it matters at the end of the day. At the end of the day, like, can you look at your life and can you say, like, fuck, I'm proud of what I did. I'm happy with all the choices I made. I did something important with my life. I made an impact on my community or the people around me. These are the more important things, not do I have a Bugatti or what is my house worth or what is my net worth or, the question you have to ask yourself, have you helped someone today? Have you done something that's beneficial to this planet, not parasitic? These are all things that we have to consider. Here, let me look at. You can't unlearn the truth. Exactly. Everything has been a lie thus far. Yeah, a lot of things we've been lied to about. Our history, the way our bodies work, our minds, the true importance of this realm, the actual realm that we live in. We've been lied to about everything, man. It's fucking bullshit. Anyways, I'm slowly gonna make my way home, but I come here every day that I work. I hang out. I look at the canal. I think about hydroelectricity. I listen to the movement of the water. It's quite relaxing for me. So it's kind of like a meditation spot. And for me, meditation is just relaxation and letting all the stupid shit pass through my head and just get to a point where it's super clear and feeling good, aligning with the sounds and the movement of the water. So it's quite peaceful for me. I get to walk on a trail every single day. I avoid most of the traffic, just walking through woods. I get to see a hydroelectric canal that's connected to a whole bunch of old businesses. Like one of the old, I think it's the rubber mill or factory or whatever. It's now a fucking keg. Like they slapped on a new facade in a few spots, but I mean you can see some of the old brick and shit. It's fucking hilarious though, because now knowing what I know, literally everywhere I go, I'll walk in. I walked into a restaurant the one day, and all the posters, it's like this like old world architecture and shit, and I just can't fucking avoid it. I'll see a commercial. I watch random TikToks that have nothing to fucking do with the subject that I talk about, and literally I'm seeing I'm seeing what I talk about, and it's like the fucking simulation is constantly speaking to me and talking to me about all these different subjects. Work beckons. Yeah, work is always beckoning. You know, I have no issues with fucking putting a hard day's work, but as far as where that effort goes into and how it helps us, I'd sooner fucking put in a ton of effort into a community and gardening and sustainability than I will to make one individual fucking asshole a little bit richer. You know what I mean? And that's what people don't realize. We can do all this shit for ourselves. We don't have to be doing this stuff for other people. And this circle that we go in of materialism and thinking that we need this, that, and the next thing, and all this fucking fake food and overpriced housing, Like literally, you could probably build a house for like 20, 30 grand. But we have all these laws and all these other things. You know, there's perfectly qualified people that are capable of doing this shit. So it seems ridiculous to me, the prices that people pay for living and housing in this day and age. And I've built it. I built homes. I spent a year building houses. And the materials that they use, like during the pandemic, holy fuck, they weren't even using fucking sheathing anymore. They started using structural foam. They were using structural foam to build these fucking houses. And I was like, I can't be a part of this. Like, these are not, like, yes, we're doing everything to, and I'm doing air quotations here, to code. But, like, the quality of this shit, like, and it's like a $300,000 fucking home. Like, I could literally go buy the materials, go build something super nice, super cheap, and be super happy. I don't have to spend 30 years, 20, 25 years paying a fucking mortgage. I just build a shit. Like, I've done roofing, I've done site development, I've done exteriors, facades for all these different, like, that's the thing. I get a lot of people in my comments too, like, obviously you never worked a hard day in your life. Oh, you've never done construction? Bro, that's what all I've been doing for the past decade. That's why I'm so interested in this shit. This is why the architecture catches my attention, because I've been doing construction. And when I look especially at the history of America, of Canada, literally when they talk about the construction times for some of these buildings, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, we'd be lucky to get that done today in that time, you know what I mean? And for the amount of people and the tools, they just had like horses and shovels and pickaxes and shit. You really think they were digging out a foundation, doing all the work? And not to mention the production of the materials themselves to cut the stone, to cut the bricks, all this different fucking shit. It would have taken so much time. It's just, something doesn't add up. So they're lying about something. Specifically what? I haven't figured out yet, but they're lying either about how long it took these buildings to be, whether they were there or not already. Maybe they built them, but really it took like 50, 100 years. Like we already know we've been lied to. I get that. We've been lied to about history. We've been lied to about a lot of things. So there's just too many things that don't add up at this point, and that's what I'm trying to figure out. And by traveling, I'm going to learn more and more. Every time I visit a new city, sometimes there's stuff under construction, which really shows me a lot. And that's why I fucking hate it. I hate the fact that the buildings are getting destroyed. But like I just posted a video last night. There's this bridge getting destroyed, and you see the stone. It looks like masonry, like stone found, like work that makes up the greater part of this bridge, but it's literally made up all brick, false facade. Once again, the same point that I'm trying to drive home with all you, and so I've been trying to tell you guys, like, it's all about the brick. The brick is super important. It's like one of the bigger parts of this larger narrative, and to me, I understand that people don't get it, but at the same time, it's super important. What the brick is capable of and what it's really all about. It's like the battery, it's the housing, it's the thing that encompasses everything. It's the container for this stuff, and I think that it definitely plays a role. And we would have had brick roads as well, so it's something that the earth provides, so it makes sense that it would be something tied into. And you got to think about all the electronics that we have of today as well. We have all these electronic devices, and they're really just smaller versions of what the larger versions would be. So you have your quartz, which is used in electronics, and all these metals and these different things that are present, and these minerals that are present in the rocks that are around today. So anything that they were building would have been just a larger version of a smaller computer that we have today. So there's literally nothing new. It's just been how would you say that? Refined? Yeah, it's been refined and miniaturized. But you got to look at these buildings, star forts, all these different things around us in the realm. Obviously, they had some sort of power, and there was something to them for sure. So, and you have a mix of magnetic and non-magnetic materials coming together. So, it's quite important. I don't know, guys. There's there's like 3 of you here. I'm just fucking ranting on my way home. My temporary home, actually. Once again, I'm getting ready for my next adventure. I stopped in a town for a little while Saved a little bit of money, did a little bit of work. I've been researching, making content and shit in the meantime, but literally like 6, 7 months ago, I gave up everything that I had going on in my life. I gave up my living space, my job, all this shit to pursue this stuff and something that I'm quite interested in. So I got so much done in the winter and it got a little too cold. My drone wasn't wanting to fly anymore, and just very cold for all the electronics. So I took a break, and now I'm kind of getting started up again. So I'm gonna leave. I do like month to month kind of stuff. So based on my lifestyle. So I'm gonna be finishing up here in like a week or so, getting my shit ready and moving on to the next city and moving on with my adventure. And we'll see what happens next. But I do notice that every time I do go out into the world, it's a whole new experience. The things that I learn, the things that I see, it's not just enough from a computer screen. I need to keep digging and keep searching, and there's a reason for this. Like it's almost like everything in my life has aligned to create this situation, and all the different aspects of myself are all coming together to create this one thing. And I think it's super fucking neat. And it's cool that there's a bunch of people along for my journey that get to experience that with me and share that, and we can talk, we can share ideas, all sorts of things. I'll be coming into different cities, I'll get to meet different people. I'm not fucking shy, and I'm not around to hurt or do anything wrong to anybody. So I mean, if I come into your city, I'll let you know, and I'll come say hi. We'll smoke a joint or whatever, go for a beer. I don't care. Shoot the shit. But I look forward to traveling around in Canada and the rest of the world as time goes on. Sorry, buddy. I don't really look at the screen very much. When I start ranting, I either close my eyes or stare off into space. But you said, what town was that? Which town are you referring to? Case Blue. What town was that? My calling? I was living in Nova Scotia, and it was just like, I received a download that was like, you need to go do this shit. Like, like people have no idea the other lifestyle that I was living, or what was going on. A lot of crazy bad shit, and just fucking all of a sudden out of the blue, it's like, nope, not anymore. And received some messages, and it's like, this is what you got to do. Okay, sure. So here I am. My call. Can you talk a little more on that there, Case Blue? I didn't quite. That you worked in? Which town? I'm in Niagara right now. I'm working. I was working making alcohol. I was making wine and beer. Doing that for a little bit. Before that, I did a couple other random jobs, but I'm just trying to save up a little bit of money for my next adventure. So save up like, so I don't have to keep working. I can travel through all these different places. Like I'm gonna be hitchhiking. I'm gonna be sleeping outside. I'm gonna do all this shit, and then trying to film and do like historical shit on top of that. And maybe I might even hop a freight train. You never know if it comes my direction, but that's kind of what I'm heading towards. Everything that I own is going to fit into a backpack, and away I go. I could probably make what I saved last for a couple months, especially where I'm not paying for hotels and shit like that. I'll just be paying for like food for the most part. How is it though out there? It's pretty fucking warm, to be honest. So, and humid, but we are in the fruit belt, so you got wine and all different kinds of like stone fruits and berries and other shit being grown here. So it's quite humid, I will say. I forgot how humid it was here, but pretty much I'll be here for another week. I'm gonna redo some shots I did in the winter time when I was passing through here. There's a star fort. There's also a station for like a loading station for the dirigibles. The like, what are they called? What's the thing that got blown up again? The flying ships. What are those things called again? The airships. Something along those lines. Someone fill me in. Sorry, I'm just gapping out right now. Anybody in the comments, please? the flying ships. They were filled with air or hydrogen or whatever. The Zeppelins, that's it. The fucking Zeppelins. Anyway, so I think this was a loading station for a Zeppelin. And I remember going there as a kid, walking up on the inside of it. Now I think it's locked now since the pandemic or whatever. Maybe it'll be reopened again. I'm not sure, but I think in terms of it being a loading station for sure, it was like a tie-off point. They could climb down for the Zeppelin type aircrafts of the time. Now, if they were electric as well, well, it would have been a charging station of some point as well. So I'm gonna redo those footage because all the footage I have is from like the winter time, and it's not the same as it looks now. So I'll do some hiking around there, and in Niagara on the Lake, there's a few buildings I might try to go inside now that they're not restricting that because well, obviously I'm not vaccinated. So I had a hard time in the wintertime doing all the tourist shit. That's why I'm kind of redoing it now. I want to visit the falls as well. There's this like tourist. There's two tours. There's one that goes underneath the falls, which is really fucking neat. And I'd like to record and maybe do a live there as well to show everybody. And then the second part of the tour, which separate tour, goes through the hydroelectric factory, like plant generation station that Tesla was involved with. So I'd like to do a guided tour of that, where I'm gonna do live, and I'm gonna grill the fucking tour guide and ask them all sorts of questions about it, and from our perspective. It's quite expensive though. I think it's like $70, $80 total, and I'm just trying to budget for that. So that's another thing. I made a video, and I'm asking for some assistance because I'm fucking poor, and to try to get into these tours, it would be if people want to help out, that's great. If people don't, well, I can't do it, and I can discuss it, and I can find a little bit of footage. But I feel like me going there specifically with what I know and with my own camera looking around, it's going to be different than some fucking tourists that are just there for the random experience, you know what I mean? So I do have a video up. People can gift that, or they can, help out with the PayPal or whatever, because I do want to see it. But I mean, this is where the help comes in from the viewers and stuff. I don't do a Patreon. I don't separate all my information. Everything is all in one place for everyone to absorb. But I do need a little bit of help here and there, and I'm sure there'll be other times that I'll visit other cities that I will need a little bit of assistance to get into some of these places for specifically the tours and whatnot. So if people want to help out with that, that's great. But regardless, I'm gonna keep traveling and keep checking out these different spots, whatever. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, exactly. So I was at Dundurn Castle in the winter there, and they wanted me to have a Vax pass to go through, and I was like, "Fuck that! I'm not gonna pay for that. Sorry, I don't have one, and that's just ridiculous." So I did a walk around that spot, and I was checking that out. So. And you guys got to see a little bit of footage of that exterior. That's the thing, like, I have like 15,000 people following me almost now, but I guarantee you most of those people have not seen my boots on the ground footage. Like, the footage of me literally, like, I mean, I do mix it up within the other stuff, but there's literally me traveling around to these different places, and, like, new information has come up because of that, and there's sites that were under development, under construction, being renovated, all these different things that just added to what I already kind of thought things were going to be. Um, I literally have like 1%, guys. So if I just cut out of the sun, don't be surprised. But maybe I'll jump on again later. I don't really do lives that often because most of the time it's not engaging enough. No one's really interested. People are just interested in the content or whatever. Because I don't talk about flat Earth. I don't talk about mainstream popular shit. So I don't really get a lot of people on the lives or whatever. But I do appreciate the people that are here and appreciate listening to me talk shit. But I mean, it is what it is. Whatever. What am I headed to next? Well, I'm going to be going to Niagara on the Lake to finish off some of my footage there that I wanted to redo. And then I'm going to be doing Toronto. I fucking hate Toronto. Toronto, however you fucking pronounce it. I don't like it at all. I never have. So I've been trying to avoid it. But